here, or they sit on the rail here, and to enjoy the view. So we want to make that something that people can actually do and invite the public up there to do that. And so the idea is to take this end of the lot and create basically a little park area. Will there be some benches, some little seating, some lawn areas, some hardscape, where you can actually do that and enjoy that sunset and the view that's here. And also let people feel that this campus has something for them, the people of the community. And so that's what this piece at the end is. I think someone had asked a question similar to that earlier about how are you going to capitalize on some of the views. And that's one of the ways we do, as well as looking at the building. The new building here is going to actually be capitalized on the views. And that's another reason why it's up towards this front, where it has some excellent views out as well. And so this is just an aerial view from the back side of the campus, looking from the hillside, looking back towards the rest of the campus. This is the new building here. The pool will be right down here, the new quad area. Our building's right over here. And then that view beyond, just to get a sense, this would be the new auditorium type building that would be up towards the front.
Where's the L building?
Where's the who?
Library.
Oh, the library?
Where the front is.
Right here.
So the new building goes up.
This is looking from the back of the campus, from the hillside over.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the library is right over here.
Right there.
Building B.
Right here.
Building A.
Because building A is being torn down.
Isn't that the new?
We will make that a
Oh, that's the science building.
Yeah, this is science building right here.
Oh, that's the science.
This is the new Allied Health building. Yes, sir.
Could you go back one slide?
Sure.
Okay, this summer, we were called into sort of like an emergency meeting to talk about the possibility of a full photovoltaic field,
Oh, yes.
like Nikki, blah, blah, blah. And it was like bums rush to sort of vote on it so it can be done now. And now here I see it on 2018 to 2022, and it's the last thing on the list.
What is
So do you know what's happening to that sort of photovoltaic field and the solar stuff? And
Okay, let me address
what
that.
happened to that?
There's going to be a town hall meeting similar to what we have right now in the campus to address and discuss energy need. The plan is to be able to build a chiller plant in the campus where you're going to be able to have centralized plant that supplies HVAC to all the new buildings and existing ones that are going to be done. So the HVAC plant, we're working on that right now, and the chiller plant as part of utilities that will be done as part of Measure A. So the hillside and the discussion about solar panels is going to come back to the campus for discussions and planning to get stakeholders' input and the community. Once that has been determined, we may do what you call a PPA, which is a plan that you go into with other finance agencies. They come build this energy for you and supply and use the photovoltaic to supply you with electricity and with HVAC. Then the funding that you would have been using to pay all those PG and E bill, you'll be able to save some of that for the classroom. In other words, you have more discretionary fund, and some of it we pay for the cost of the HVAC over a 6-year period. By the 7th year, then you buy it back. You buy it back and it becomes the college and the district ownership for that. That is why you see that the number of years there is pushed back. Because if you want to be able to utilize the monies for that to do HVAC today, you may not get a child development center. So you don't want to do that. You want to be able to, there are federal credits that we can benefit from that. There are state credit that both President Obama and the state have decided we're going to give you additional credit for this year that we need to take advantage of. That is why. Yes?
So when I stepped out of the room to deal with, you've already covered this, but there's more than just a child development department in the A building. And I'm wondering, where's anthropology and anthropology museum, where's art studios, there's 2 art studios in there, and a music studio, and maybe I missed it, but where are they supposed to be?
We haven't programmed all those spaces because that's not the level of work we're doing. But a lot of those spaces, we have areas that the whole D building is being vacated, number one. So you have all of that building in terms of, you know, depending on what goes back in there, but there's more space in there than you need for almost anything. So there's space that exists in there. You know, as part of the development of the new buildings that are being done, we can incorporate those because like a lot of those spaces, anthropology and all these, those are spaces that are not complicated spaces necessarily.
The art space is complicated because they have kilns.
Yeah, well, and again, we can incorporate those into the rest of the campus. So that would not be a problem.
Science school.
Pardon?
Why can't they have spaces, make the science school large with that space here?
Even that is possible, quite frankly. So as I said, there's a lot of options that are available to what could happen, because that science building will have classrooms in it too. It's not just going to be science only, it's a science and classroom building. So there's a lot of options for where all those spaces can be relocated throughout the campus. But part of that is to consolidate them so that they make sense where they're located, so they fit within sort of program areas, and they're not just all over the place. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I understand that there is a plan for performing arts.
There's not a plan, actually.
Well,
There's a desire for it.
An idea that's pretty much indoors. Is that correct?
Yes.
So the area that we now identify as the quad, and you did show some pictures of that.
Right, this area right here.
Is the idea for that to remain somewhat like it is, an amphitheater setup?
It's going to be redone.
Like that?
It's going to be redone such that there is sitting areas, various areas, some greenery, some trees, just in an atmosphere where students can have activities. So that is, the area will be redone. Then also,
the reason that I'm asking is that that's one of the areas that's identified for jazz festivals, and the idea of it having that kind of amphitheater outdoor style, I think is important to the college. And so while I understand you're saying that there's going to be additional seating,
yes.
My question would be, you know, how many people would be able to gather in the quad at one time?
Those detailed planning will come
Okay.
when the time comes. We're not there yet. What we're doing is just showing you an area where we believe will be the center part of the campus. So we address that when we begin to look at the planning for the space. With the seating arrangement and what is going to be there will be done at that time.
Yeah, essentially the master plan provides you the overview of conceptually what types of things would go on in this space, what types of buildings would you be putting in. Those are the kinds of things that we'll provide you. Then if any of these move forward, then the individual architects and or designers will work with you in terms of the detail of how those things get worked out, and also the detail of where they go, because we may be proposing something to go in one location, and when they sit down with the user groups and go through the full process, it gets put someplace else on campus.
So an example of that would be the Performing Arts Theater. How many seats would be?
Exactly. At this point, we have no idea. It could be 250 seats, it could be 800 seats. You know.
Let me also share something with the group so that we don't end this meeting without you having knowledge of some of what is being discussed. It is being discussed in the instruction curriculum arena of the college and the district that the dental program over at College of Alameda may move over to the Allied Health Building so that you have a true consolidated Allied Health Building on the campus.
Right.
I wanted to let you know that as material fact of what is being discussed. But the stakeholders on this campus, the stakeholders at College of Alameda, we discussed that between DOMC and other groups to make determination if it's going to be a viable project to do here, when that is going to be part of it, and that decision will need to be made as soon as it's possible, because we are forming a committee for the Allied Health Building already, and that committee will start to meet as soon as Dr. Adams and I